What's up, Mona?
Hey, James, how are you?
Good, good.
Well, we just welcome Pyle. She just joined with us.
What's up, Kyle?
Pyle.
Kyle, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh,
Hi,
Thanks. I think Daryl Huckabee is on too. He's new.
the Daryl.
Huckabee.
How's everybody doing?
Good, man. Welcome aboard, Huck.
Glad to be here.
Love it. Just to kind of just set some ground rules. I mean, you know, what we do is we try to add a whole lot of tremendous value to agents. You know, whether it's, you know, somebody in a group, outside a group, whatever, we're always just strictly about production on this particular meeting. So, so for the people that you know actually joined, got connected or whatever, congratulations. And if you're not directly connected with our group, that's okay, because you're about to get a treat. You're gonna see what it is that we bring to the table and what we actually offer, and you're gonna learn some stuff on how to grow your business. So, looking forward to that. But like, who wants to share like some good news that's going on in their business? Let's go, agents.
I'll do it.
What's up, Brian?
Yeah, I got a listing appointment for a doctor's office for $949,000 in 2 hours.
Sweet.
And I just got into commercial. So I'm on the commercial side of EXP now. Also brought in a new agent over to EXP commercial. She might be coming on here in a minute. She asked me if I was going to be at this. I was like, I forgot. I was just at that. I don't know if you were watching the leadership meeting today, but Brent Gove was insane.
Yeah, he's always insane.
It was awesome.
Hey man, that's a good listing, you know, for 2 hours. Who doesn't want $900,000 listings in 2 hours?
Yeah, we might actually double into it. The hospital might end up buying it next door. So
Awesome.
Very
Great,
good.
Brian.
yep.
Who else want to share some good news?
Yeah, see some here.
Agents. All right.
I'll go.
Where's the camera?
Who's that?
It's me, Craig.
What's up, Craig? Let's go.
I had a listing go live for 800,000. Got a couple offers in it already today. I had a listing appointment this morning. I'm putting another listing on the market. It's a small miniature farm. We'll probably list it for about $750. Put my own house on the market today. So it's listing. So
Very good.
Love it. He's working on the right side of the business, y'all. You know, he's working on that listing side.
Yep.
You know, what I like about listings, they have babies. So it's not necessarily the same thing with buyers. I mean, you gotta work harder for them though. But he's using that leverage. Awesome, man. How's that team going for you, Craig?
pretty much growing by the month. So they're all out doing stuff too. They're all busy. It's just crazy right now. So it's a good thing.
Love it. Who else want to share some good news?
Proud here today, James.
What's up, Rick?
What's up?
Rick Dhillon in the house, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Rick.
How you doing?
What's up, Rick?
Wow, Rena. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good looking crowd.
Absolutely. Got some more people jumping on board. I think somebody else said they wanted to share some good news before Rick jump on.
Mhm.
From the group. That it. All righty. All right. Well, we'll get right into the meeting. So I mean, I'm super excited, man. Honestly, I mean, I've been wanting this guy on for a minute. I mean, I've been seeing some of the stuff that he's been doing up in Canada. I've been watching his Facebook posts. I've been watching all the things that he's been doing. I've been watching him grow. Met him in person for the first time. What was that? Well, in Vegas, right? It was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Vegas. I got to sit down and eat lunch with him and really just kind of talk to him and just kind of see how he operates. So I'm super excited, man, because I mean I know this guy's a teacher in and of itself, and he wants to give back, and he's going to give back today. So he's been able to grow a tremendous team in and of itself in Canada, one of the top producers there. I'm just like I said, I'm just so excited about this whole thing. Rick Dhillon, man, let's go, man. What you got to talk to us about? What you got to share with us?
Whatever you guys want, I'm here. We can talk about production. We can talk about agent attraction. You let me know what you want me to spit out, and I'll do the best that I can.
Perfect, man. Perfect. So I guess like what I think with most people, and like if anybody have questions, just go ahead. You can put it in the chat, or you can actually just just raise your hand and then just ask them directly. There's very few times you get somebody, that is a high producer that's willing to kind of open the playbook up and share. But I guess the main thing is like the origins of where you came from, and how did you get to doing what you're doing right now and get to the level that you're at right now.
Yeah, right. So I got into the business in 05. Oh, tell me, 17 years of flew by, man. I don't know where it went. So 05, just like everybody else, really, I was like, I had a little bit of fire in me. I go, I want to sell a bunch of real estate. Went to my broker owner. I'm like, his name was Frank, older Italian guy. I'm like, Frank, how do I sell this real estate? And then, he had me knocking on doors and cold calling. And I don't know if you guys remember the white pages back in the day. There was no Google or Telelist. And I just got that. I just started calling. It wasn't until about year 2 where I kind of found my niche. So anybody that's listening, I would say find one thing and do it really well. You don't have to do so many things really well, especially in the beginning. What it was for me was for sale by owners. And I was like, listen, sometimes something just sets in. And I'm like, listen, why am I going to be randomly hitting up all these people that may or may not want to sell? Because I knew listings was important. When I know for sale by owners are motivated. So my only headache is to convince them why they should use me rather than doing them themselves. Because I knew any for sale by owner that I would call, they're definitely going to be motivated to sell because they're telling me they want to sell. So that's where it started off, James. And then it just rotated where then it's like, then I started to understand the power of a for sale sign. So let's put this in practice. I call a for sale by owner. They're like, I hate realtors. I'm like, cool, but you might not hate me. So let's get in the door. I wanted to get into the door. I'll save you guys on the script unless you guys want it. And then I would get my for sale sign out there. And then I'm like, wow, from these for sale signs, I'm getting buyers to call me. You guys know how it is. And then from that same for sale sign, I'm getting free advertising because people are paying for billboards and bus shelters and all these things, but your best advertisement is your for sale sign. So now I'm getting sign calls. I'm also getting people in the neighborhood that also want to sell. And then what I started doing is I took the people that I started doing business with and I put them on a referral marketing program. So that's all I did. My for sale by owners kind of trajectoried my career. And then I started adding systems. And then when I kind of hit a plateau, which I think everybody should, I started taking coaching. I've sat down with the Ferries, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Craig Proctor, you name it. And I took what I liked and I disregarded what I didn't. I was asked to become a coach in some of those places. And then conversion, James, the biggest thing that I see in my 17 years is real estate agent comes in, they get their real estate license and they start talking about leads. Well, that's not how it was back in the day. We used to talk about conversion, and I think like there's so many companies out there, and even now that we're attracting agents, people are like, how many leads are going to get me? I'm like, I'm not getting you nothing. but I'll show you guys how to convert. So conversion was the key. So I was like, okay, the more I learn about real estate, the easier I'm gonna convert. So if I ask this room, I'm not gonna put y'all on the spot. We're in different markets, but I won't put you on the spot. But if I ask this room, because I've done it before, hey, what's the interest rate right now? What's the Bank of Canada? You guys are in the States. What is the interest rate? Or what is the GDS and TDS calculation when somebody's getting a mortgage? One better, how do I calculate a cap rate? How do you calculate an ROI? I will bet you 80% of the room will look at you like a deer in headlights. So it was like, all I had to do was learn real estate. Because when you go to a doctor and you're not feeling well, the doctor is like, okay, what are your, tell me what's wrong, take this pill, and without question, I take it. So I wanted that in my real estate game. When a client comes in, as long as I can help them build in real estate, they're gonna come to me, and my conversions are gonna be so easy. It's no longer me fighting other realtors for commission. And in my market, some people give cashbacks to buyers. I was just like, I'm gonna give them so much value in real estate because I practice what I preach. I took my commission checks. I started buying real estate. I got into developing. Guys, real estate is the best. And all we got to do is teach it. And you know what you're going to do if you teach it to one person? They're going to tell all their friends and family. They're going to say, I don't know about your realtor, but you got to go talk to this woman or this man because this person actually knows their shit. So I don't know. That was a little bit of everything, I guess, James. I don't know what you want me to deep dive on or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, man. So the for sale by owners part is something that I think a lot of people, they kind of, struggle with when they're dealing with a FSBO. Like, yeah, I know you kind of mentioned, like, what are some of the things that you actually do in order
All right, let's have some fun. This is going to be good. Okay, so the first thing that I would like, this is going to be fun. You don't have to answer this question out loud, but just have an answer. I'll give you guys 30 seconds. Have an answer in your head. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What does a seller want? Think about an answer. What does a seller truly want? Yeah, I told you that, Rena.
No,
Have fun. Okay, anyway.
Proctor, the same seminar you were at.
Okay, good. Rena knows. So listen, most realtors will say, okay, they want good service, they want to hold someone fast, they want somebody with integrity, they want to see all my awards and my picture with my dog. They don't want to see none of that. They actually want what Rena just said. They want buyers. Okay, so we're still on the feasible, right? So what does I understood that a for sale by owner needed buyers. So I went there equipped. Today, you guys have access to way more than I have. So I will let you guys know what I'm teaching today. First and foremost, you pick a neighborhood. It's called that neighborhood Leslieville, okay? A neighborhood that you want to market. In this example, it's going to be Leslieville. Then you jump on your KV Core, you start doing ads. I think an ad everyone should be running is the 3 hottest deals in Leslieville. Okay, so now you're going to get buyers interested in Leslieville. Put that in your back pocket for now. So if you know your for sale by owners want buyers, now it's a very simple conversation. So if James is selling his home by himself, I would call him. Haven't done this in a while, but I would call him and I would say, hey, James, look, I respect the fact that you're selling your home on your own. How can I help? What can I do? And they're going to say, I'm not working with a realtor and all this stuff. Then I will say, okay, James, let's hold on. If I had a buyer that is willing to look at your home, would you work with me then? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes, but I'm not. But they will say yes, but I'm not going to take a listing. Okay, that's all I need. And here's my close. Guys, there's a steps to this close. I'm not talking about anything else but meeting them face to face right now. James could tell you, and a lot of people in this, you guys know this as well, that the conversation changes from the phone to in person. So now my next step, going back to role play, I say, James, listen, I have a list of buyers. I want to show you that. But more importantly, I've also got to, I don't want to bring my buyers to a place that isn't up to par. I saw the pictures of the home, but I need to come in and look at it. Can I come and take a look at it? I won't bring a pen. My computer will be in the car. Just me. I'm not making you sign anything. I just want to look at your home so I know my buyers. I'm not wasting their time because I don't want to take them to a place that isn't up to par. Is that cool? Boom. He'll say, okay, come take a look at it. When I come take a look at it, I'm not trying to get the listing right away. I'm basically have my list of buyers. What am I promising my list of buyers? What do buyers want? Rena, you're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to answer. She knows every answer, God damn it. So listen, so what, now I know what a seller wants buyers. What do buyers want?
A house.
Buyers want a house. My man, but they want a house that they can't find on the internet. They're looking for off-market properties. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm promising my buyers, say, hey, listen, I'm trying to lock in my buyers because they're strangers from my KV core. I'm trying to lock in my for sale by owners. You can do this with any seller. It doesn't have to be for sale by owner. So the conversation I'm having with my buyers, I'm like, yo, listen, I have these properties that you can't find on your own. James's property, remember? I'm telling James, hey, I have these buyers that you can't find on your own. My KV core. And I'm just doing mix and match. So back, I'm going to James. I'm looking at the house. I'm like, James, let's work out a deal. I want to bring buyers in here because selfishly, I want to show them off-market property anyway. At this point, if I make a deal, it's a bonus. So James, let me bring them in. If they like it, let's work out a deal. What are you going to give me? 2.5%, 3%, whatever you guys work out. Get them to sign something. Customer service, whatever you guys have in your marketplace, okay? Don't go for the listing. So you're going to go in, you're going to show your buyers a couple of times. James is going to see that you're working. And guess what kind of market we're hitting now? We're hitting a market where you got to work. Not every listing that you're going to come is going to go over asking. This is like actual real estate. So now James is going to see if he's going to find, even if your buyer didn't like the house and you didn't present James with an offer, man, he's going to see that you're working. He's going to see that you're, you know, a professional person. And when he's ready to list, there's a very good chance he's going to list with you, or your buyer might buy it. Now you're going to get your BRA signed and you're going to get your listing signed. And you do this every single day. That's the part where people fall. Like the idea, they want to do it. But guys, the difference between successful agents and agents that are struggling is one word: conversations. Successful agents aren't advertising more, or they might. They're not better looking. They don't talk better. They just outwork people. They have more conversations. Now let's do a little diagram from conversations. How do conversations happen? 2 words: systems. Successful agents have systems. This is just one. For sale by owners, KV core. If you're, you know, one really good one is converting landlords into listings. They have systems. And then the second thing they have is habits. They have the habits. They wake up, they go to the gym, they have a routine, and they are prospecting. It's a core belief of mine and most successful agents that one of our jobs is to prospect every day, 5 days a week, whatever your schedule is, but you got to time block and prospect. If you don't want to have conversations, you're in the wrong job.
Love it. All right. Just open it up. Anybody have any questions for Rick in the meantime? But all right, so you said conversations, having multiple conversations, you know, for sale by owners. I really like the aspect of actually showing them that you're working for them before you actually get the job. It's almost like you're interviewing for the job before you actually get it.
That's right. And then when you do have, then you have a power pack presentation, right? Of what you're going to say at the listing presentation, what you're going to say at the buyer presentation. You have to be stacked with ammunition, but the first step is just to make the calls. And here's a big one. Because we live in a society where instant gratification is huge, right? Uber Eats, Tinder, whatever, everything, there's options everywhere. It's all about instant gratification. The money is really in the maybes. that's where you're gonna hit real income. The money is definitely in the maybe. So, we live, as realtors, and I'm guilty of it too. We want to work with sellers and buyers that are wanting to do something right now. But let's not forget about those people that want to do business 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So now I'm using these same tools into my agent attraction. Same tools into agent attraction. The yeses are yeses, the nos are the nos, but guess what? The money's in the maybes. So I have a follow-up campaign for agents, just like, you have follow-up plan for buyers and sellers and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Period.
Look forward
All right. We got a question from Lanita. She's asking, you buy leads in the area, county, how big or small do you go?
I always go big, but you don't have to be like me. It depends on your budget. I remember when I couldn't go that big, so I respect that too. Just do something, whether it's $100 a month, whatever that gets you. The thing is, like, let's do a little deep dive into this. So online leads do not suck like most people think if you leverage them properly. If you show the back of your KV core and you show those buyers and you're doing it smart, let's go back to that Leslieville example. Man, you are so ahead of the game with all these other realtors that are going for these interviews. Sellers want buyers, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I would urge everybody to do is just Google yourself. Because the first thing somebody's going to do after you leave, like, let's say I'm out going after James' listing, and he's not a realtor, obviously. And, he's going to say, yeah, Rick's cool. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I've been doing this pretty good for 17 years. You're not going to get the listing on the first time all the time. I know people want you to believe that, but it's not true. It'll happen some of the time, and you want to do that for sure. But a lot of the times people want to think about it, especially if you're with an S or C personality type. The D's and I's are going to make decisions right away, but the ones that are going to think, they're going to think. So what are they going to do when you leave or before you come? Everybody's going to do this. Yeah, James, I'll be there Thursday, 6 p.m. Cool. It's Tuesday. What's James going to do right after get off the phone? He's going to Google me.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys have some kind of presence. It's not that hard to do. You don't have to get into SEO and all this stuff. Just put your website out there. Make sure you have a website. If you guys have social media, throw out some videos. Just don't be a secret agent. Gone are the days where we have to have a huge marketing budget to advertise. I mean, agents are spending $5,000-$6,000 a month on billboards, but you know what people are doing on red lights? Unfortunately, they're on their phone. You know what I'm saying? So there's free advertising out there. So that's really going to help if you become a person of influence somehow. Did I answer that question? I forgot the question.
Yeah. Lanita, she was just asking about how big or small you go with advertising.
Yeah, so go towards your budget and but it's the right ads that you got to do, because you can have some lead generation companies where they'll say, okay, I'll get you 50 leads a month, 30 leads a month, whatever that number is, but the quality of leads might not be that good. Let me give you an example. So you have a potential buyer cruising the internet, looking for a home. They jump on a property, and all they want to do is see the pictures of the property. There's that one picture, maybe two. They want to see the third, fourth, fifth picture. And as soon as they get to that, these lead generation companies, they ask for their email address and phone number. They give them to you. And now all of a sudden you're calling them and they're telling you off, and you're like, yo, I don't like this online lead gen, because your message to market was wrong. So you really have to figure out what that message to market is in your marketplace. So I don't think anybody can go wrong with just listed properties that just came on the market, or the best 2 or 3 deals in the area. Now, when somebody calls me on that on a script, let's say James again, I have an ad out there, the best 3 homes in Leslieville. James, left his phone number. It'll be like ring, ring. And I'll say, hey, James, this is Rick. Thank you for, requesting the best 3 homes in Leslieville. Was that your right email address? Boom, it's in your inbox. That's it. No games. I'm not guessing and keeping it a secret in case he uses me. It's in your inbox, man. You're looking to move in the next 3 to 6 months. And then I get into my qualifying questions and then boom. I didn't learn this myself either. Like, a lot of coaches teach this stuff.
Yeah. I love that, man, because you're finding your target audience by identifying the area. So I mean, you're real specific with the area, So I mean, for me, it might be best 3 homes in Stone Mountain, best 3 homes in Buckhead, so like whatever it is. But the people that are looking in that area, they're going to start raising their hand, and you can actually create that for multiple cities, wherever it is that you want to work.
That's good. And you know what else? Magic happens when we start working. I'm telling you, man, because you start doing these ads, guess what you have to do on a daily? You have to find the best deals in the marketplace. Man, I can't tell you how many times I just showed 3 homes to a client and boom, I have an offer. Same day. I'd be sitting in a consult. They're like, I'm looking for a house at Churchill Mall. I go, what? Okay, I know one. We got to go today. It's exactly, know your inventory. Guys, buyers want deals. Like, we want leads, we want all these things, but if you just focus on finding deals, you think you're going to have an issue finding people? No, but we don't want to work. And I'm guilty of that too. This is not a lecture. This is just someone that's went through everything. Like I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do these things. My favorite word in the English language was tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you taking out the trash, and do it tomorrow. Tomorrow just made me feel it just eased everything. Like tomorrow, when are you going to pay those bills? I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes like it's a weekend. I'll do it Monday. I was the biggest procrastinator on the planet. I wasn't a great student. I was a horrible employee until I looked in the mirror one day and said, I don't want to be that way. Why save for tomorrow what can happen today? So I understand how good tomorrow feels. Trust me. I'll start that diet tomorrow. I'll eat the cheesecake today. I get it. I am that person. People think that I like success. I will tell you, I like to chill just a little bit more. And I got to fight that. I got to fight that every day because I want to chill. I want to watch the NBA finals. I want to watch my Netflix and I want to chill. I don't want to be calling no for sale by owners. That's for sure. But you set a target and you got to do what you got to do. And it feels good because everything takes, I don't want to make this like, whatever, but everything takes sacrifice and everything takes a little bit of grit and it is worth it at the end. And this agent attraction thing, like, where's Andre? Andre's right there. Andre called me about joining EXP and I say it every time I see this guy and I can't tell him thank you enough. I love this man because he changed my life. What if he didn't call me that day? What if he didn't keep pursuing me? What if he said, forget this guy? He doesn't even watch the video that I see. I didn't know he can see when I watch the video. He sent it a year ago and I didn't even, and then he, same thing. And then I talked to Jay and here I am. But the point is, it's the same thing. I want what Jay has. I want what, not because, that somebody showed me that it's possible. You guys know who is, I'm going to mess up his, I think it's Roger Bannister. You guys hear about Roger Bannister? Roger Bannister, way back in the day, I think it was in the 50s, ran a 4-minute, broke a 4-minute mile. You guys know this story, right? So nobody on the planet could break a 4-minute mile. It was impossible. All of a sudden, some scrawny kid from England comes around and he breaks it.
Yep.
You know how long it took the second person to break it?
1 week.
My man. Because it was possible. So when you look at this agent attraction stuff and you see, Brancos and Jays and the Andres and the James killing it, that shows us that it's possible. And if it's possible, it can be done. And now there's no competition. Maybe I'll never catch James. Maybe I'll never catch Andre, but that's not the thing. They help me get better. I'm going to get what is due to me. So man, this opportunity that we're sitting on right now, right here, that is gold. I've never seen anything like it. So when I talk to agents, I'm like, yeah, man, sell real estate, sell a whole lot of it, because you're going to meet real estate agents as you're selling real estate. Once you start understanding what we're in right now, guys, it could change the trajectory of your life and generations to come. I've never seen it like that. I've invested in properties. I built condominiums, guys. And there's not as much money as there is in rev share because it's zero down, but I don't want to hijack this into an agent attraction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just kind of piggyback on that, because like attracting agents is kind of similar to growing a team, right? And you know, you were able to, you know, grow your team there in Canada. What are some of the things that you actually did in order to, I mean, I know you starting off, you know, that you built your business off of for sale by owners initially, but what did you start doing to scale where you were able to start creating leverage, you know, with the, you know, by building a team?
Yeah, so the first sale by owner was one system. I just had 3 or 4 systems that I did really well. Those systems brought in leads, okay? So I know every day how many leads I'm gonna get. And then I had conversion pillars. Okay, then with my conversion pillars, I started getting really busy. And as I got busier, I hired an admin. And then obviously to run at the end of my business, I'll look at how, I'll show you guys how it looked like. I had inside sales agents that were qualifying all the leads. I had outside sales agents that I was giving business to. So instead of becoming a realtor, I became more of a coach, realtor trainer, a recruiter. Oh, let's talk about that. If we're talking about team, I'll tell you the biggest, most important thing that you need to do. You need to be very picky on the people you bring on the bus, because you can't make something out of nothing. I'm not talking about agent attraction. That's different. I'm talking about team, someone you're giving leads to. You have to make sure that your recruiting system is on point. So much so, as soon as you come in, you do a personality test, then you do an interview, then you showcase some scenarios, like give them a document, hey, fill in these clauses, see how they are on the field. And honestly, guys, go to dinner or coffee with their significant other. See the crazy or that they're sleeping with at night. You know, because if you could be as good as you are, and they could be really good, but if you have somebody chirping in the ear, hey, why are you on a team? They're taking 50% of your money, blah, blah, blah. It ain't gonna work. So if you bring the right people on the bus, your team is going to be amazing. When I first started my first team failed horribly, actually. And it was because, and I have no ego in saying that, it is what it is. I tried, I failed, and I dusted myself off, and I tried again, and it worked that time. So, and that was my biggest mistake. I was so excited on starting a team, I brought my entourage in. My boy from back in the day, this guy, oh, you're a realtor, I got you. Rick, how do I sell houses? Why do you need to know? Join my team. I was like the revolving door of people that wanted to, you know, so get the right people in the bus, but also be ready for the fact that, you know, you got to see the type of people that are joining a team. I think like the running a team in the EXP model, the modern team, I call it, is so superior. So let's talk about that. So I used to run a team, the Rick Dhillon Realty Group, and we used to get the leads through the systems. I had my admin staff, and I had my ISAs that would qualify the leads. I would give them to the OSAs, and it'd be a 50-50 split, okay? But then my best agents would want to leave me. And you know what? Truth be told, I would want them to leave too, because I had a really good agent. I want them to fly. They're not gonna fly under me. You know, there's gonna come a day they're gonna say, Rick, man, I want my face on the for sale sign, not yours. Thank you for teaching me everything you have, but it's time for me to fly. And who am I to say that they can't fly? So, or on the other side, you have the agents that weren't going to be successful anyway. And that's why they needed a team, because they couldn't do it on their own. And if you give them a lead, they still ain't going to call that lead. And you're like, yo, you didn't call that lead? Like, that was a good lead. How can you not call that? It's like put on a silver platter for you. So in EXP, if you want to run, there was somebody that asked that question, how much should I put into my marketing or whatnot? So let's do it this way. Let's say you became a person that got leads and qualified them, whichever way you want to do it, right? Let's say you're running a team, same model, you're qualifying these leads. Now you don't have to have a team that you're committed to, because one thing, if you're a nice person, which if you're with James, I'm sure you are, because like attracts like, what happens is you take that responsibility into your pillow. So I had a person, I'm not going to name their name, but they were on my team. Let's call them Agent X. I go to sleep at night knowing Agent X has to pay his mortgage and I'm responsible for that. At EXP, it's a little bit different. So now you have an organization. Let's say your organization is 30 people total, okay? And now you are doing the same thing you would do as a team. You are getting qualified leads and you're looking through your 30 people. Now you call. I call Agent X on my EXP organization. I'm like, hey, Agent X, how's business going? It's going all right. Listen, can you take a buyer lead right now? It's a 50-50 split. You got to sign this one pager. You got to treat them right. But if you show them homes, we'll split it. They're like, yeah. Guess what? I don't have the responsibility anymore of taking that home and their mortgage payments at home. That's not low long. It's my leads are just a bonus. I have higher quality agents because let's say I had a team of 5 and the other way, they might be these people that don't know real estate, say newbies. But in my organization of 30, 20, 10, whatever your number is, I can pick and choose the killers that are selling real estate and I'm just giving them a deal. I'm still making my 50%. They're happy. I have no responsibility and I can use it as an agent attraction tool. I'm not personally doing that right now, but I have taught some people on my team to do that. It's a great strategy. We call that the modern team. If you have questions on it, let me know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, basically you're just talking about more just kind of like creating leverage. I mean, the whole reason why you originally, got that buyer's agent from the beginning from your team and started putting ISAs in places, just kind of creating leverage. You want to first, of course, have the business for yourself, but then as you start to grow, start creating leverage where, the business is going to continue to work for you and you're able to, because nobody, once you start to scale, you can't do everything on your own. So you got to put people in places in the right boxes.
Right.
So yeah, so anybody have any questions for Rick?
Don't be shy, y'all. Ask a question. Phil got a question.
So Rick,
Yeah.
you said your first team failed. You started, I don't know, second, third team, which is now successful. What was your first directive or your first step with the first agent that you bought in? Not somebody that you already had, but with your next successful team, what was your first step?
So are we talking about agent attraction? Or are we talking about a regular real estate team?
We're talking about a team.
Okay, so my first step is just I put them through a DISC personality test. It wasn't crazy. You could get it online. I just wanted to see how they would answer a few questions. I really think that a good salesperson, if I'm interviewing an OSA or an ISA, they need to be a D or an I. So if somebody that I like, they look the part, but they don't have that ability to conversate and they're an S or C, they're not ready for that position. So I cut a lot of them out right there. I mean, I'm not going to hold it to that because if I had the conversation and I think they are a D&I and it doesn't show on the paper, but those things are legit, you will see. So first thing I would do, Dhillon, is I would do the DISC personality test. And the second step, and I would get like 3-4 people to do it at the same time in a room so they know there's competition to join my team. And then the second thing is I don't even have an interview until I do the personality test.
Okay.
Then I narrow down the people I want to have an interview with. I have that interview. I ask my questions, and literally before I hired them on my second team, like you said, that was successful.
Mhm.
I would say, hey man, before we commit to each other, me and my wife, let's go for coffee with you and your wife. You don't have to do
Yeah.
that. What I suggest you do is good to know who's bringing in, because a team is like a family. And if you include the significant other or whatever, if they're single, that's fine. Then you don't have to do that. But just include that person in. And because what starts happening, you're pouring a lot as a team leader, you're giving a lot. So let me explain that for a second. There's only 24 hours in a day. So as a team leader, you have made the conscious choice to work on your business and not in your business. Okay. I'm making sure it's flowing. I'm not working in my business anymore, which is the hardest thing. I think like if you're a good realtor, okay, and you're closing a lot of deals, the hardest thing to do is become a team leader, because you could simply do it yourself. You're teaching other agents to close, you can do it yourself. So a lot of successful team leaders, they weren't that good closers anyway. They were good organizers and stuff. Anyway, back to the point why we're going to do that coffee with a significant other is because as a team leader, you're pouring a lot into your teammates. You're training them, you're coaching them, you're pouring in your blood, sweat, and tears to make them something. Picture an athlete, you're the coach of the athlete and you're making them into something. So you don't want all that hard work to go because you don't have the buy-in of the significant other. You know what I'm saying? Because that is their biggest influence. So you might work them, and now all of a sudden they close the deal and they say the significant other says, hey, why is Rick taking 50% of your deal? No, you can't have that, because you wouldn't have had that deal if it wasn't for Rick. So make sure you have the buy-in. And if you want to have a really good culture in your team, invite all the significant others to your functions. And that's what I did anyway.
Gotcha.
All right. Anybody else got a question for Rick?
Rick, I have a question.
What's up, Ashton?
Okay, let's suppose you bring someone with S personality or D or C personality, and doesn't perform as a D personality. In bracket, who cares, because they are part of your organization. So how important is this one?
So if you bring in somebody that's an S or C as like a salesperson,
That's right.
okay, and performing well,
Performing okay.
yeah, that's a good question. Hey, listen, if they slip through the cracks and they're performing well, you're gonna keep them. If you hired somebody and you made that commitment to them, and you find out they're not a D or I, then I think you owe a responsibility to go all the way, give them a chance. But man, I don't know if you guys watch sports, but for those of you guys that do, like, I played sports growing up, and that's just how I mimic it. Like if I'm, I don't know if you guys follow the Toronto Raptors. You should if you don't. But anyway, one of my mentors,
Atlanta Hawks, but keep going.
Atlanta Hawks is good. I don't hate on the Hawks, but one of my mentors, and he doesn't even know it, is Massey. Right? So he is the GM, the guy that recruits all the players onto the Raptors. So he answered the question. In order for him to win a championship, that person, that recruit's got to bring something to the table. They just have to. You can't make something out of nothing. You can't. As good as you are, you cannot sell homes to somebody that's totally unmotivated. Okay? You can't help an agent that is totally unmotivated. They have to bring something to the table. I don't give a shit if they meet me at the 50-yard line. I will come to the 70, but they got to come to the 30-yard line. You know what I'm saying? They got to come to the 30-yard line. So if they're not going to move, what are you going to do, man? And that's a really stressful situation for somebody that has passion, that wants to help. People got to be willing to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that answers your question, but I would really, really be picky on who I bring onto the bus, because after they're on the bus, it becomes like family. So I like to say I'm firm, but I'm really fair. I know my personality type. I'm actually, you know, people say, hey, you're like Vin Diesel. I'm not. I'm like Winnie the Pooh, man. I ain't no Vin Diesel. So, like I turn into mush. So I know once they're in the family, I'm gonna do whatever, and it becomes family. So I would say before they get into the family, be very picky. Have somebody that comes to the 50-yard line, meets you in the middle. They do their part, you do your part. That's my suggestion anyway.
Okay, how do you suggest reaching out team members from the other side of Toronto, let's say from Scarborough and from Montreal, another city, to join your what we call modern team? Is that a good idea?
Yeah. It all depends what model. So what I like to do, Ashton, I reverse engineer. Always, all my decisions. I start at the end goal and I work backwards. So, and then you'll find all the answers that you want. But most people, they try to do sporadically, they try to take on too much. Find your end goal, like whatever that is. Like for me, right now, at this portion of my life is agent attraction. So that can go in so many different levels. I can say, hey, I'll provide you all the leads, come partner with me. I don't want that. I don't want that, but I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So I have my goals and I reverse engineer on what I want to do and the type of people I want on the bus.
Awesome. Recruiting somebody on the team, they got to bring something to the table. I love that part. Put that in the chat. Anybody else got a question for Rick?
So Rick, okay, my name is Cicely, and kind of regarding the assessment or the personality assessment, I have actually been done the DISC assessment previously, and I actually came up as an S. So, and I've been actively putting forth effort to change that. Do you think that it's possible, or am I just kind of like reaching for stars to kind of change that assessment outcome so that I can improve?
No, man. If that's what you are, that's what you are. Don't change. I would say don't change. You gotta change. See, let me clarify. The way I taught and trained my team was a certain way. If you're an S and you're in sales, that is beautiful, because I'll tell you, the majority of the world is S's and C's. I mean, in terms of our clients. So instead of being like, hey, like, let's give an example. If I'm in front of, prospective seller, and they say, hey, how much is the commission? And if it's a D personality, I'm like, it's 6%. And I'm quiet. If it's an S personality, I'll be like, hey, let me take out our packages, because S's need options. So you got to be true to yourself. Just design your conversion techniques around you, not me. So you can have an amazing presentation where you're providing options. A guy like me can never do that. And I envy you. Like if I had if I was an S and I can organize and I can have all these sheets and I'll be like, okay, here's your option 1 and your commission. This is what include your option 2. I'm like seat in my pants. I was 5 minutes late to this thing, man. Like, so, like, you know what I'm saying? I envy you. So don't change yourself. Everybody has a superpower. Like, never change yourself. I think you can be more successful than me or anybody else. Like, you just be true to yourself and you will find you will attract the people that are meant to do business with you. So I wish I had your organizational skills. So you would focus on like giving more options, giving more paperwork, having a really killer presentation. Whereas me, I'm doing 20 things my admin set me all up. I called them, like, call everybody. I'm gonna be like 3-4 minutes late. And that's the story of my life, which is I'm working on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. We got 9 minutes. Anybody else got a question for Rick? Right
Yeah,
on.
can you hear me?
Yeah, Neeraj, I can hear you.
Yeah. So Rick, very interesting to hear your talk. So I have a question, especially in the front of agent attraction. So sometimes, and I would love if you can give it with some example, could be a small example. Sometimes you're following up some agent to get them into your team. You know those people are good, but after a certain time, you start feeling that they're avoiding your calls. Probably they know why you are calling. So I wanted to know to what extent one should really call them or follow up with them, or give them some time. I hope you understand what I'm trying to ask. It's like what's the lead time? Till what time I should chase them, or I should just stop and
I understand you completely. And I think I have an answer for you. So the lead time becomes very apparent on the initial phone call, right? The reason why we keep following up with people is first and foremost, is we're not making enough calls. Okay, hold on. Let's just leave that on the side, because we keep chasing the same 5 people because we only called 10 and 5 kind of said yes. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way this works. So it always starts off with your pipeline, Neeraj. So like someone like Andre is calling like 10 people a day. So it starts from that. So let's get a bigger volume. So I'm not sure. I want to, this might not be exactly to you, but there's a lot of people listening. So you might be calling a lot of volume. So I'll cover that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So it starts with the pipeline. So do the 2 agents a day, 5 days a week, or 10 on Friday, whatever our mentors are doing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Do less, do more, not less. Okay. So that's number 1. When you have an overflow of agents, you're going to tend to follow up with the ones that are the maybes less. Okay, that's number 1. So now when it comes down to how often should I call them, we have to set that up at the initial conversation. And it could be something as simple. So the initial conversation is always for an appointment. Okay, Neeraj? So it's always for an appointment, a face-to-face, or someone in your organization that is doing these presentations for you. So, okay, let's do a role play. Okay, Neeraj, we did our thing. We did our little small talk, and I'm going to go into like kind of the close, if you will. I can say, Neeraj, there's a presentation. You said Wednesdays at 11 are good. I'm going to be sending you a calendar invite for that presentation. Is that okay?
All right.
Okay, so this is where a lot of agents fail too, because they'll say, okay, you're going to watch the video. Okay, bye. No. When are you going to watch that video? When are you going to come to the presentation? Wednesday at 11. Okay, now you take your phone, you take Neeraj's email, you send them a calendar invite. And then you do one more. Say, after you watch that presentation, or I'm going to be watching it with you. I suggest you watch it with them on Zoom or whatever. Then after I watch it with you, I'm going to have a 2-minute conversation with you.
Okay.
What you like best.
Okay.
So now you watch it. Now I'm going to be like, hey, Neeraj, what did you like best about that presentation? I hate EXP. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Maybe that presentation didn't do you well. Do you want to talk to the person that was presenting? Let me get you on a phone call. So so it starts with the pipeline. Hey, the no's are going to say no's. It is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And the yeses are going to say yeses, but if you have the processes on the maybe. So now let's answer your specific question. Because a lot of people do this. I'm not saying you're doing it. Because we don't ask for, you got to ask for a commitment.
Okay.
You're going to watch this video. But let's say I don't have time. Okay, watch this. Let's say you don't even get to a video. Say, Neeraj, check this out. I know you're busy. I'm busy too. The last thing I want to do is be chasing you around. The last thing you want to do is seeing my phone number all the time. When can we schedule a follow-up call? You know, you're back from vacation in 10 days. When can I schedule a follow-up call? 10
I
days?
see.
Fine,
Yeah.
same thing. Pull out the calendar. Now I
Yeah.
send you a calendar invite. Now, if you don't have integrity and you don't show up to that call, that's not on me.
Yeah.
I can't
I see.
control other people's reactions. I can only control my actions.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you are getting, so the real answer to it is once you start asking for commitments, then it's really easy. You don't have to chase people around. You only chase people around when you don't ask for commitments. So now the day comes, you're supposed to watch a video or we're supposed to get on a call. Hey, Neeraj, you didn't answer the phone. I'm going to call you in a few minutes. Now it's a different type of follow-up. Now I can put you on, like, you know, invite you to other things. Like you could invite them to this or whatever.
Yeah.
You can invite
Yeah.
to different things, and you can put them up on a follow-up campaign of calling them every couple of weeks. And it's like, hey man, we missed each other, but I really want to see you. Or 6 months could go by and say, listen, man, this thing is blowing up better than I thought. So it's just kind of like that. Get the commitment.
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect.
all right. Thanks, Rick. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, Leon has his hand up. Leon, you got a question?
Yeah, quick question. But first, I'm gonna say that's a great interview, Rick. Thank you very much for sharing, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
It sounds like what you're saying on a buyer and seller side is that you specialize in kind of like matchmaking. You putting them together in different types of ways, right? And in the course of doing that, you kind of find a lot of deals that are off market that you can target and may even find something for yourself that you like. But pretty much you're going to match those buyers and those sellers together in a non-traditional way. Is that correct?
Man, that's your script right there. You could say that in a listing presentation, you can get every listing. I'm a match.
Appreciate it.
I
I
love it.
appreciate it. That's great. That sounds really good. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. So let's do a little deep dive into that. That is so well put, Leon. That's exactly what it is. So we do the work for instant results. Do the work first, like find the deals, find the sellers, find the buyers, and matchmake. Because then when you're coming to, even like door knocking, I don't believe in door knocking, but I believe in house hunting. So let's say I have 10 buyers on my KB core. I talked to one guy, his name is Jim. He wants to have a house in Leslieville. Oh my God, thank you, Jim. That's all I needed. Now, that script when I'm door knocking is very easy. Let me tell you about my buyer, Jim. I hate being on this door. I'm sure you don't like it. You might be eating lunch, but I decided to be a realtor and I got to find Jim a house. He wants his house in this neighborhood. He's qualified to buy. Do you know anybody in this area that is looking to sell? Boom. It's going to come off with authenticity. It's going to come off with integrity. You're not door knocking, you're house hunting.
Love it. All right, I think Phil, you had your hand up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so Rick, just going back to a bit of agent attraction, kind of looking to grow my organization. I'm from a fairly small market, so I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm looking to just call people I don't know. You have any sort of tips on creating lists for that, or is it just, you know, identifying the people and making the calls?
Man, like, so there's so many ways that we can do this. Like, let's say you had a listing, you can call people that have showed your house. If you don't have a listing, one thing that we used to do, what everybody should be doing if they want to find deals, you know, it kind of stopped on COVID, but that's all behind us, I hope. And you guys made a good announcement today, by the way, but that was awesome. But hopefully we follow suit. So what you can do is you can like start integrity. I always believe integrity. So let's use what we taught. So one of your jobs is to find deals, right, Phil? So you're going to pick the neighborhood you want to find deals in, and you pop open your MLS and you just simply go and inspect the house, even if you don't have a buyer. You call the agent. Let's say I'm calling you, you're the agent of that property. Say, hey, listen, you know what? I want to go and inspect this home. I have potential buyers, and you will if you do that KV Core thing. and I just want to inspect it for them before I get, because a big walk-in closet is really important to them. Let me go check it out. And if I like it, then I'll let you know. Now you're talking to agents. You're actually, looking at properties that you should be doing anyway, and you're making friends, man. You can do that all day long. And if you want to skip the step of not going and inspecting the property, which I don't think you should, but let's just say you ask them, hey, how's that backyard? There's no picture of the backyard. My buyer needs a big backyard. Is it possible to put in a separate entrance? And now you're making friends, and then you can say, hey, listen, you know what? You're awesome. You're my kind of guy, Phil. We're looking for people like you in our organization. Are you open for a change? Are you open to learning about more? So maybe you won't do that on the first call. You'd have to use your discretion.
Cool.
All right.
Man, you're walking by the street. You see, if you're like Mona, she'll be like driving and there's a realtor on the bus, she writes down that name. She'll be walking the kids in the neighborhood. She's like, Rick, I have 20 phone numbers here. This is like free advertising. They're selling homes. I'm collecting agents, man. So, it depends how much fire you have in your belly. That's all. The agents are everywhere. Mona's laughing because she knows it's true.
Hey man, I learned from the best, okay? I just follow what you're doing. That's it. Duplicating here.
Awesome.
Rick, I take pictures of, I take buyer showings. There's like 900 realtor cards on the table. I just take my snapshot and I call them. That's another way.
Yeah. And do open house. If you don't have your listings, ask somebody in your neighborhood, to do their open houses for them. You're going to meet realtors that way. If you're walking if you're walking in your neighborhood and somebody's doing an open house, pop in.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I really appreciate you, man. 100%. I mean, if anybody didn't get anything out of this, I'm questioning if you were listening. So, I mean, just the whole part of the, even, you mentioned agent attraction. Like, I think if you're team building, then that's what agent attraction is. If you're team building, whether it's your team or building an organization, I mean, all these things, you're going to always be looking for talent. Like you said, making reference to a football team or a basketball team, you're always looking for talent, and you need somebody that's going to be able to, bring something to the table. So I love that aspect of it. So appreciate you, brother. Appreciate
I want to let you guys know that we're really lucky to have leaders like James and Levi and Andre. I heard Levi's speech at the last conference, man, almost brought a tear into my eye. Like that was amazing, so how lucky are we that we're part of this organization together, so whatever these guys need, I hopefully, I will be there. I would make time to be there because appreciate the people that, that thought of you. That's the way I see it. And I know selfishly, we want every realtor to be here, but man, this opportunity is gold. We have a great organization. James, I appreciate you for putting this together, man. Thank you.
Nah, man, I appreciate you for jumping on and bringing the fire, brother. I definitely appreciate that aspect of it. For those that this recording is going to be put on Agent Builders Facebook group. If you're not part of Agent Builders Facebook group, just reach out to the person that either your sponsor or somebody within the group to get you on. And just to kind of just let everybody know, we do these every second Friday of the month at 12 o'clock Eastern, where an agent that's killing it is getting on. I appreciate Rick. Rick is, obviously delivered. Next month, we actually have Al Stasic that's going to be jumping on board and just sharing and delivering some of the stuff he's been able to do, one, to grow his team and also his organization. I was doing about 300 transactions a year out in Ohio. So he has a lot of wisdom he's going to be able to share.
I'm glad I went after him and not before him. So be on here to watch Al Stasic.
Absolutely, man. But like, you know, I appreciate everybody. Let's go ahead and take control of the rest of this week. I mean, week coming up, the weekend, the month. Let's start implementing some of the stuff that Rick talked about. I mean, if you're not grabbing listings the way he's talking about grabbing listings, literally being a matchmaker with buyers and sellers, I'm telling you, missing it. The market shift is already starting to happen. So the agents that are actually doing the activities, those are going to be the ones that's going to win. And the ones that's not doing the activities, we're going to have to get them in our coaching. I'm not going to say we're leaving them behind. We got to get them connected to our group so they can start learning to do the stuff. So the fact that you're here, you learn so much more, and you're learning from the top. Rick is one of the top agents. And once again, brother, I appreciate you. Love you, man. And to the next event. You plan on going to Dallas?
Yeah, I already bought my ticket. I'm there.
All right. Well, I will see you in Dallas.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Great call. Thanks for your time, guys. Thanks for showing up. All you guys that continue showing up, that's who continues to go up. And we'll see you in Orlando as well there in a few weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, guys. We'll holler.